You think the Kashmiris living on Pakistani side, would they ever let you stay in peace?
Sir, let me tell you one thing.
That will not happen.
Sir,
even if Pakistan army does not do anything.
Mr. Pirzada, I have great regard for you. But I must tell you, those who don't learn
have
from
regard for me.
Yes.
But let's talk to
yes, I have just one sentence before I go to Mr. Ajit Doval and Maruf. No, the question is this.
Clearly conceding that they have started this whole problem.
Yes, but now they are trying to back off, and all that India is saying here is please back off, but give us a promise you will not try. I can see tonight that Pakistan is backing off. You may call it anything, and don't call nationalism jingoism, sir.
Pakistan is not backing
I'd say this to you,
Pakistan,
Pakistan is backing off. Pakistan is backing off, and if it hasn't, it will be made.
These are false allegations. There is no backing off by Pakistan.
Sir, history.
Pakistan has taken a position, and actually General Kayani a few days ago made a speech near Sialkot, and he said, we are prepared to confront any situation. So you guys are going too far.
Sir,
don't try to put yourself in a situation.
Sir, before I go to Maruf, I'd only say this, Mr. Syed Pirzada, those who don't learn from history are condemned to repeat it. You lost 65 and you lost it so badly that you lost 71, and the reason you lost 71, was because defense spending,
we had a different problem in East Pakistan.
Defense spending.
Had it not been a political problem,
defense spending was 56% of your country's expenditure in 70-71. Look back at your own economic records. You had no money to eat in 71, but you wanted to go to war with India.
That is our problem.
No, that is a huge problem that you need to deal with.
Because 800 million poor Indians need that money that is being spent on the Indian armed forces.
Sir, please.
800 million.
I only put out
need that money.
You lost 2 wars because your country was not realistic. I want to go to Maruf, and then I'm going to Ajit Doval. Maruf Raza, what's your message here? I see the Pakistanis overall backing off. They may not have said so at the flag meeting, but some realism is coming in.
I think half the time it's consumed by you.
But that's not realistic.
A couple of points, sir, with request, without intervention. The first is when we, exchange economic data, please, let's get a little real. The entire state of the Pakistan economy doesn't even add up to half the size of the Bombay Stock Exchange. So the Indian economy really doesn't need money from Pakistan or elsewhere to prop up whatever poor people we have. We both have poor people. But let me get into the military dimension to it all. Brigadier Javed did bring out one aspect which touched a nerve in my mind. The fact is that if Pakistan didn't want this issue to be escalated, why can't at the company brigade or company battalion brigade commander level, they pinpoint the responsibility to whoever's done it, punish the guy, close the matter, and de-escalate the situation.
De-escalate.
Now, you do talk about the fact that Pakistan army can take the punishment or get into a conflict with the Indian army. Punishment may not be the right word, but the fact is but we all know, those who are informed about military balance on the line of control, that your army now is hugely depleted in strength because of your commitment internally and in the AFPAC region. Brigadier Javed alluded to that, even admitted to that. So therefore, any ratcheting up of the tension there is purely being done with the international arena in mind. Because you have the eyes and ears of the UN at this point of time. You are yourself referring to the UN again and again. Let me sort of bring you up to speed from various historical records that Pandit Nehru took the issue of Kashmir to the UN purely because, and ask yourself, you'd probably do the same, that when you thought you had a pretty good chance of swinging the plebiscite in your favor, otherwise why would he take the issue to the UN when he had no idea that the plebiscite or the people of Kashmir would vote to join India? Now, even if you do say that UN resolutions are important, the former Kofi Annan, former Secretary General of the UN, has been on record on more than one occasion. Go onto the internet and check it. He made the statement in front of me once in New Delhi also, that UN resolutions are irrelevant now. Even if I cite you the UN resolutions, though Pakistan has its own doctored version of the UN resolution of 13th August 1948, but if I cite you the UN resolution, you haven't implemented your part of part 2 of the resolution, which is withdrawal of your forces from there before the will of the people of Jammu and Kashmir was to be determined. And let me tell you one final fact. You keep bringing up Kashmir, you keep bringing up Bangladesh. Admiral Javed brings up Bangladesh. But let me tell you, your obsession to do a Bangladesh on India, by doing it, trying to do it on Kashmir, is, believe me, sir, going to cost you very dearly.
Brigadier Javed Iqbal
decide to
Brigadier
respond
Javed Hussain.
Because the bottom
Brigadier
line
Javed
is
Hussain, I'm going to lose the satellite link before I do so.
psychological games. Ornab, Pakistan's playing psychological games.
Let the Brigadier respond to you.
They are wanting to see, can they pressurize India into reacting? And this time, the Indian Army Chief has spoken up strongly.
Absolutely.
After Op Parakram, the first time an Army Chief has given a warning to Pakistan. And I'm pretty sure something drastic is going to happen if
Brigadier Javed
down.
Hussain, the time is running out for Pakistan to back off.
Look, time is not running out. What I'm trying to suggest is that Pakistan does not want war. But if war is forced on Pakistan, then God help India. That is point number one. Point number two, how do you know that the beheadings took place in Kashmir or elsewhere by the Pakistani troops?
Because
there is a full-blown insurgency going on in Kashmir.
You think, sir,
why are you ruling out the insurgents? Sometimes you blame 29 Baloch.
That we'll behead
then
our
you
own
say
to make a point.
Lashkar-e-Tayyaba. Then somebody said the SSG. Because they were wearing black dungarees, they were SSG. Who saw them? Nobody saw them.
Sir, you by your own admission.
The attackers.
Sir, you by your own admission.
The visibility was zero.
Sir, you by your own
Who
admission.
saw them?
Sir, you
Who were the attackers?
Sir, you by your own
I maintain that they were insurgents fighting for independence or whatever their cause in Kashmir.
I am sure. I am sure.
They are the ones who have killed your panchayats, 3 or 4 or 5 panchayats, forcing them to resign. How can you say it is the Pakistan army?
Well,
I have mentioned, hold on. I have mentioned so many times on your channel, Arnab Goswami, that like the Indian army, Pakistan army is also a volunteer and a highly disciplined army with a common code of conduct.
Sir, 1 second. On the first page, Brigadier
Hussain, an example.
Brigadier Hussain,
during the 1965 war,
all the more reason, Brigadier Javed.
During the 1965 war,
Brigadier Javed,
in Kashmir,
Brigadier Javed,
just listen to this. Just listen to this.
Sir, don't bring up 65. I have more facts on it.
In 1965 in Kashmir, a small SSG team ambushed an Indian column. One of the JCOs in that column was wounded. Now, instead of killing him, before pulling out, the SSG team left a note on the wounded soldier. He needs immediate hospitalization, and they withdrew. This is the SSG that you are trying to malign.
Sir, before
that SSG
sir, your fables
has done the beheading.
That was before 1990, sir.
What about the contradiction? Some people say that they came in 100 meters. Your people.
Brigadier, 1 second.
200 meters. Somebody else says 600 meters.
Brigadier Hussain.
Then hold on. What about the patrol?
Brigadier Hussain.
It was a grave tactical error.
Brigadier Hussain.
By the commander of that
Brigadier Hussain.
Rajputana Rifles and his company commander and the patrol leader.
Sir, you know
why did the scouts get separated?
Sir, I'll tell you why.
Why was the patrol not in a position to support them?
Brigadier Hussain.
And resort to counter ambush action. When these two scouts were, why were they left on their own?
Brigadier, will you hear me for a second?
So this is.
Will you hear me,
let's not talk of this Kashmir dispute,
sir, the
United Nations and so on and so forth.
Brigadier
Restrict yourself to the subject under discussion.
Sir,
and that is escalation and ceasefire violations taking place in a limited area of Indian-held Kashmir.
Brigadier Hussain, you know something? I will just make 2 points before the generals respond to you. The first point is, sir, you know, please read, I have been quoting Gohar Ayub Khan on 1965. The 4,000 commandos who you sent across the Kashmir Valley in 65, so-called commandos.
No, they were not commandos.
Minute, sir. Yes, sir, 1 minute, sir. Don't get bothered when I say command. I know they were not. It's all dodgy when it comes to Pakistan. Yeah. Who's the commander?
You're talking of Gibraltar Force.
The fact is this.
Gibraltar Force, the fact is this.
When they reached the Kashmir Valley, they realized that the valley strongly stood with India. And till date, I think the Pakistani leadership does not forget the mistake of 1965. On the other question, sir, allow me to mention to you, if these people are terrorists, then let me ask you, Captain Karnal Sher and Havaldar Lalak Jan, both killed on July 7th, 1999 in Kargil, awarded the Nishan-e-Haidar. Tell me today on national television that these two also were terrorists.
No, Kargil, I admitted in one of your last programs.
Were they terrorists?
The Kargil battle was fought between the two armies. I mentioned this in your last program.
Then why did Shamshad Ahmad,
if you recall,
why did Shamshad Ahmad deny the allegations in May 99 when it was going on? Why?
Ask him.
Ask him. That is the denial. No, sir.
Point.
You tell me. You tell me on television.
I have told you that the battle for Kargil Heights was fought between the two armies.
Sir, I clearly remember. Even when Clinton was appealing to Islamabad, Nawaz Sharif was in denial.
Out in hindsight,
General
when
Bakshi,
it
please.
started, we were all given that, you know, when Kargil started, we were all given that manufactured legend that these are insurgents, these are non-state actors. There was a whole lot of, you know, radio noise that was sort of put across to justify that these were insurgents talking to one another. Till they got caught, till they had no way to admit, but to admit.
Sir, and sir,
precisely what they have been doing.
And sir, one point.
Lies after lies after lies. Here is a country that lies through its teeth.
Sir, and one point to you, Javed Iqbal Saab, as I go to last word to Ajit Doval, General Muhammad Musa Khan, who was then Commander-in-Chief, in 2 of his books, he has stated very clearly he was opposed to Operation Gibraltar because he knew it would not work. I want to go across to for one last word to Ajit Doval. Mr. Doval, you've heard this now. Are you seeing the Pakistanis seeing Indian resolve pull back a bit? Pull back a bit. Will they pull back a bit?
Operation Gibraltar, like the Kargil thing, was ill-conceived and ill-planned.
So a lot of what Pakistan has done has been ill-conceived. Yes, Ajit Doval.
Yes. You know, there are 2 basic points here. I don't want to go, this is not the forum for going into historical archives. One is the low credibility of Pakistan, because there is a big gap between what they assure, they claim, they say, and they claim, and what they do. This is proved by Kargil, this is proved by many things in the past. To the world, not only to India. Because there is a low credibility, we cannot take what Pakistan is telling on the face value. The second point is that what has happened on 8th of January is not a localized affair, as Brigadier Javed has said. If it had happened in the Uri sector, in the Chindo village, and opposite that during the firing, and it had escalated, one could have understood it. It was a premeditated, there were special groups which had come there, and the action was done by them, which was later proved that there was a border action team also which had come there. After that, what all is happening, it appears that the stimulant and response relationship is getting into a mode where the Pakistan serious establishment is, rather than de-escalating it, is adding tempers and is widening the scope of the conflict. It would have been in the fitness of things that they would have agreed that in case this mutilation of the Indian soldiers has been done, we are making inquiries, we are fixing up responsibilities, let us know what are the facts available with you, and probably if only they can conduct an inquiry. Now that the people to whom the reports of the inquiry could have gone, they have already given a judgment. The credence on the inquiry, the investigation that they will conduct becomes meaningless. If the foreign minister, if their senior formation commanders and others, they have come out with total rejection. And today, in today's flag meeting, once they have said that Pakistan army has done nothing, they are responsible for nothing, probably India has got to speak and convey its message in action and not through the words.
Absolutely.
And that is the only thing I can say.
Well, I'd like to thank our panelists.
We all want de-escalation. De-escalation can only be done if Pakistan genuinely operates, works, and proves its
to my panelists
that it is serious about de-escalating.
To my panelists.
We all know about the problems of Pakistan. We do not want to take to precipitate action which will go against their very vital interests. But if India's vital interests are threatened or are jeopardized, India will have to, and India must. It's a question of the national will of India. It's a question of the morale of the Indian army, and I think India will have to resort probably at every level.
Well, I think we have.
From the political and diplomatic level.
I think it's important.
At the
I think it's important to keep this debate going. I really feel that some strong issues are coming up. See, Brigadier Javed Hussain and to Admiral Javed Iqbal, we may not agree on issues, but we must have this conversation.
Morale of the Indian army.
Sir.
Morale of the Indian army. What's happened to the morale of the Indian army when the Naxals carry out beheading of 10 or maybe more paramilitary soldiers?
Sir, you may
load their bodies with explosives through surgery.
You again mixed up.
What happens then?
Why
is the paramilitary forces being used as cannon fodder?
Sir, factually you're incorrect.
Hundreds and hundreds have been killed.
To the Naxals.
Most of your states are in the grip of Naxal insurgency. Why aren't you focusing on them?
There is still
why are you focusing on
Sir, there is
shooting that is taking place across the ceasefire line? You have a greater problem in
1 second, Brigadier, here.
The insurgency that is being
Brigadier, you're factually incorrect.
Ask yourself that question.
Brigadier, you're factually incorrect, but I'll let Ajit Doval respond to you. Ajit Doval, quickly, please, so we can settle this debate once and for all.
This argument, should we infer that is you propose to do nothing and you don't own any responsibility and you feel that there is nothing that the Pakistan army needs to do or Pakistan government needs to do to de-escalate, to take an action, and therefore it is free for India to what it feels is best in its national
Well,
interest.
the ball is in Pakistan's court right now. This debate continues. To all my panelists in India and Pakistan, I thank you very much for participating in Newshour Debate. Number 1, gentlemen. Thank you.